Hello, Oilers fans and hockey fans. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Austin. If you are new here, I hope you enjoy your stay. If you are a returning viewer, I hope you also enjoy your stay once more. Today's video, a little bit different than usual. Obviously, this is the second day off between games, so this is more of just a lineup update. The Oilers, they practiced in Sunrise not too long ago, so I wanted to do a little lineup update, and then I also wanted to talk a little bit about Evander Kane and what his future might look like, not only in the Stanley Cup Final, but beyond. So, yeah, we'll just kind of jump into that. Obviously, if you end up liking this video today, make sure you hit like. If you end up really liking it, make sure you hit subscribe. We are almost at 3,200 subscribers. We are continuing to really climb in the sub count, and for everyone that's, pretty brand new here and has been supporting the channel for a long time, I can't thank all of you enough. It truly means the world to me. Thank you once again. Now, let's jump into the projected lineup for Game 5 here. The lines pretty much remaining the same. In fact, they are the exact same as they were in Game 4 in Edmonton. So, Warren Foegele's going to remain on that top line with Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman. I like Foegele up there. Foegele took that huge hit before McDavid's goal at the Oilers' blue line. You probably could have called that a hit from behind or even boarding. Foegele took a massive hit. The crowd reacted to it pretty negatively, but the negative emotions went away very quickly because McDavid scored about 10 seconds later. Second line, you have Nugent Hopkins with Draisaitl and Holloway, and I thought that line played really good as well. I think Draisaitl and Holloway might be a little bit of chemistry building there. Draisaitl, he's really good at dishing the puck, and if he can find Holloway with his speed in transition, Dylan Holloway can burn defenders and make you pay. And Dylan Holloway, he just seems to getting more and more confident as the playoffs have progressed here. Dylan Holloway, he's looked really, really good. Very excited for his future in Edmonton beyond the Stanley Cup Finals into next year. Third line, we have Janmark with Henrique and Brown, and that might have been, if not, it was the best line that the Oilers had rolling out on was it the other night? Saturday, Game 4 in Edmonton. Now, that line was so good. They were actually being matched up against the Barkov line against Florida, and they pretty much dominated the Barkov line. That line had a couple goals. Obviously, Janmark and Brown connected on the shorthanded goal in the first period. And for Janmark and Brown, I would love to see those two players back in Oilers uniforms next year. Really, really funny how one playoff run can kind of change the perception of certain players, especially with me. I was so hard. If you've been around my channel for a long time, you'll know how hard I've been on Mattias Janmark and Connor Brown. I called for them to be healthy scratches regularly. I called for them to be traded regularly, and I'm eating a lot of crow right now. Those two players have proven me wrong. They've proven that they have a ton of value to this team. It took a little while for me to see that value, and I'm not just talking about the goal scoring department. I am talking about the penalty kill, special teams, and play at 5-on-5. And Connor Brown, obviously, he finally just looks like he's having fun again. He looks like he's comfortable. He's fully healed from that Achilles injury or knee injury. I can't remember what it was. I get players and injuries mixed up all the time. I know it affected his mobility, though, and something that had kept him out of the lineup for pretty much a full calendar year. Connor Brown, he finally looks comfortable playing the game again. He's very fast. He is winning races to pucks along the boards. He's been very tenacious in corners. He's just a wild dog going after a bone every single shift that he's out there, and he's been terrific. Same with Henrique. I like Henrique's game as well recently. He's a bit of a slower player, but he's very smart. He gets into scoring areas, and he's very sneaky. If you notice that goal that he scored the other night, very, very sneaky. He just kind of came in through the middle of the ice, just put his stick down in a spot for Janmark to hit it. Perfect deflection over Bobrovsky's glove shoulder, and that made it 2-0 for the Oilers. So really like that line. Fourth line, we have Ryan McLeod with Derek Ryan and Corey Perry. Again, that was a line that I did enjoy. I thought they played well. Obviously, they didn't play like incredible or amazing. I still think there's a bit more that Corey Perry can give, though he did have a really nice toe drag at the blue line. Fed McDavid. McDavid gave it to Holloway to, obviously the game was already out of reach, but that extended the Oilers' lead to a 7-1 lead in the third period. I did think Florida was going to challenge that. They did not. So at least Corey Perry was able to get on the board with a point there. Still would like to see maybe a little bit more speed in the lineup over Corey Perry, but you can't understate how important Corey Perry is in this lineup, in this locker room with his experience and, his ability to talk to players on the bench, regularly during a game. The Oilers, they have their backs against the walls. Their backs are continuing to be up against the wall. This is Florida's series to lose. The Oilers, there's a lot of pressure to continue and try and get this series back to Edmonton for a Game 6. On defense, you have Ekholm with Bouchard, Nurse with Broberg, and Kulak with Ceci, and then Desharnais, he's the extra defenseman. I don't really foresee Desharnais getting back in the lineup. As long as the Oilers are winning here, obviously, Knoblauch, he's going to continue to roll with this group. Stuart Skinner, he'll get the start. He played great in Game 4. Hopefully we see a similar performance in Game 5. But now I want to talk a little bit about Evander Kane. So Kane, he was not at practice today, and he has not been practicing with the team for quite a while now. The last practice that he was at, it was before Game 3. He was on the ice in Edmonton briefly, and then when the rest of the team came out, him and Kris Knoblauch had a conversation on the ice, and then Evander Kane ended up leaving the ice, and he hasn't touched the ice since. He has not been around. He has not been on the ice doing practices at all. This makes me think Evander Kane is much too injured to be able to play and be an effective player. And for Evander Kane, there's a lot of Oilers fans that are very confused. Evander Kane, right before the playoffs started, he told the media that he's been dealing with a sports hernia injury all year that has hampered his ability to be a regular producer. And it was pretty obvious during the regular season that he just didn't look 100%. Now, a lot of that also is the age factor, his style of play, and the fact that he was actually injured as well throughout most of the season. It just doesn't look good in terms of expecting a lot of production from him. And a lot of Oilers fans were very confused why the Oilers did not shut Evander Kane down earlier in the year. That could have freed up some cap space to use at the trade deadline. For some reason, they didn't shut him down. They allowed him to continue to play through this injury. And now we're in the most important games of the year, and he is too injured to continue playing. Obviously, we don't know if there's anything else going on. Maybe Kris Knoblauch just didn't think that he was effective enough to stay in the lineup, which is also valid. I didn't think Evander Kane has had a very good postseason. Kane has 4 goals, 4 assists in the playoffs, which on the surface looks okay, but if you look at the underlying numbers, if you care about plus minus, I'm not someone that takes plus minus into too much account. If you look at the underlying numbers, though, he just has not really been able to find a bit of a rhythm or a groove during the postseason. Some of his goals kind of come in garbage time where the team's already up. It's a situation where I like Evander Kane, but this is a situation where it really does look like he may have played his last game as an Edmonton Oiler, which would have been Game 2 against the Florida Panthers. And, someone that I think is a effective hockey player, probably not worth the $5.5 million that he makes anymore. And for someone that has, he's on the wrong side of 30, his play style, players like that, they don't age well in the NHL. I've referenced Milan Lucic in the past on this channel with regards to Evander Kane's game. Lucic, his age curve, that drop in production happened way faster than most fans were willing to accept. There was when Lucic signed that initial contract at Edmonton, most fans knew after about 3 or 4 years that would be a bad contract. Nobody knew that after one season, heading into year 2, is the second year of that contract, that Lucic's game completely fell off a cliff. Evander Kane's game has been steadily declining. Of course, injuries have played a part into that. I sympathize with the injury angle. But for Evander Kane, you never know. I don't know if the Oilers are going to try and move him. I know he does have a no-trade clause or a modified no-trade clause. I'd have to double-check on Cap Friendly before the Washington Capitals take that away from us. Don't let Washington get away with this. I hate that. Make me so mad. But for Evander Kane, what do you think about Evander Kane's play in the postseason? Do you think the Oilers are going to be better off moving on from him this summer? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. Of course, let me know your thoughts on the regular lineup as well. I love discussing all this stuff. And again, thank you for your continued support on the channel. It truly means the world. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe today, and of course, tell someone that you love them. That is super important. Tomorrow morning, I will have the pregame report up, and then tomorrow night, I will be live streaming Game 5 and doing commentary. Cannot wait to see all of you tomorrow. It's going to be an absolute blast. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon.